It's me, Kyle, and here we are, dealing with some shit. Just some real ramifications of some shit. We got 2 more people dead. This'll be fun. Where did Haruchan go? Where did Haruchan go? Shit, why was everyone in such a hurry to do the worst thing possible? Shami Sarazawa, Chikamochi Kamoshida, Takumi Muro and I went out to search for Haru Makishima. Kaori-san showed no signs of calming down, so Yasunaga stayed with her. Kinosuke Shi refused to come, arguing that it would be bad if there wasn't enough manpower around the dining hall. And he wasn't wrong about that. It wasn't unlikely that some fur-covered murderer, or Haruchan's kidnapper, was still around. To prevent any surprise attacks or accidents, we split into pairs. We were given a hoe and a sickle for self-defense. First of all, pairs. We suspect that some of these people are murderers and werewolves. Why would you go in pairs? Doesn't matter. Be careful, you two. Shout if something happens. Loud enough so we can hear you, but low enough that others can't. Alright, let's go, Mochi. Time to do work, Hassan. I cannot. I don't know. The skirt would have made the search harder for him, so he changed into his school uniform. It wasn't cut out for the job either, but he had no other clothes. At least it was better than a one-piece dress. He seemed to enjoy wearing girls' clothing, so changing into the uniform was probably his way of showing he was serious about this. He kept his easygoing tone of voice, but I felt like there was gravity in his eyes too. He might have been pretty shaken. Haruchan! Haruchan! We walked around Yasumizu, shouting until our throats became dry. We checked every bush, all the patches of tall grass, and behind every tree. We even searched the water around the paddy fields, but it didn't feel like we were any closer to finding her. What do you think happened to her? I don't know. Maybe she's shocked by her granddad's death. No, before that. She'd been acting weird since this morning. Was she? Is she really fastidious or something? Fast what? A clean freak. Hates anything dirty. I think I saw hints of that ever since we first met. Oh, I'd say she's just the greatest scaredy cat here. Scaredy cat, huh? She was always really afraid of all the corruption talk. Maybe she was just scared of getting corrupted. I see. Fear based on superstition. That made sense, but why had it suddenly gotten worse? What had happened last night? That's why I don't think Haruchan could kill anyone if she was a wolf. Is that what you think? I don't know if she is one or not, but I really don't think she could if she was. How prudent. That's not like you. Well, we're not talking about me here. I don't want to try and get a read on you. I just want to hear your ideas on what's going on with Haruchan right now. I have no idea who or what you're confused about. But to me, Haruchan is as important as Yasun, if not more. I don't really care about anyone else. So we should just find her. Good point. But no matter how hard we searched, we saw no sign of her. She could have been hiding somewhere. Or maybe she collapsed, but I was beginning to entertain another idea. What if she ran away from Yasumizu? I asked, knowing everyone would deny the idea. That'd be hard to believe. When the mist comes, Yasumizu is connected to Yomi, Bachan's words, so anyone trying to escape would just end up there. Not to mention, those mountains are dangerous. All that considered. If there was something that would drive her to escape from the village, what could it be? Everyone fell silent. They couldn't even imagine it. It was like their brains had stopped working. If she'd actually wandered out into danger, then we'd wasted too much time searching for her in the village. I had to hurry, so I didn't hesitate to use some big assumptions that bordered on chicanery. What if she can no longer trust the village or the people here? What do you mean? She might have seen something at night or early morning, or come to some sort of realization. Like, for example, what if she found out that someone she knows well is a wolf who killed people like it was no big deal? Everyone gasped. She's young, so she's still pretty unstable. And since Yasumizu is so small, it wouldn't be strange if she felt like she'd lost her place here if someone betrayed her. The girl seems pretty emotional, so it makes sense that she jumped straight to running away, right? Make a solid argument. But then what do we do? Give up? That was the thought of someone from Yasumizu. I'll go look for her. I'm not afraid of the corruption. And that was the thought of someone from Yasumizu who had a few screws loose. Anyway, I'm an outsider. I'm not exactly averse to leaving anyways, so I'll look for her too. I said I'd stop you, didn't I? Don't worry. I'll head back the moment it gets dangerous. She definitely won't head in Saranaga's direction, so I'll focus on the path to school. Also, adults shouldn't turn their back on children, right? Hassan. I can't argue against that. Of course, it's possible that she's still in Yasumizu, so you two keep on searching for her here. Leave it to me. Run away if it gets dangerous. Hassan, about what you said. What do you mean? You know, the thing about Haruchan losing trust in everyone as a result of something she saw? What about it? That didn't actually happen, did it? Who knows? I was just raising the possibility. It's likely, though, isn't it? So, what do you think she saw? So you think she saw me or Yasun walking around with a mouthful of huge fangs? That's a possibility, too. Not sure I buy that. Is that just your intuition talking? Yep, it is. Speaking of which, I also feel like this Feast of the Yomi Purge is designed to keep the wolves from being outed easily. You can't see them at night because you can't walk outside, you can't stay gathered in one place and watch each other, you can't call the police, so there can't be any investigations. And since everything's covered in mist, things can happen without anyone realizing. And that's why you can't get that sort of solid proof. How could the players send people to be hanged without the slightest bit of material evidence? If you ignored the weird guardian powers, it was all quibbles, agitation, sophistry, emotional arguments, connections, popularity. Basically, the power of communication. I don't really get why, but yeah, I think it's designed that way on purpose. Nothing was certain. They were put in a dangerous argument with their only weapon being their eloquence. It was a feast of doubting, hurting, and eventually killing one another. If there was such malice behind this, then Shikamochi Kamoshida had a point. Are you a detective or something? Huh? No, that'd be Yasun. He might know more than he lets on. I'd have to talk to him then. We arrived at the mountain pass separating Yasumizu from the rest of the world. The large stones at the side were like torii without a top. They might have had religious significance. There's no rule against stepping beyond here, right? Nope, only that you can't run away from the feast. We were going out to find Haruchan, so we were good. Ignoring the fact that Haruchan was breaking the law, we passed between the stones. But we soon had to stop. The path was blocked by a landslide. According to Mochi, despite being pretty rocky, the ground in this area was strangely fragile, so landslides weren't that uncommon. There had been some pretty bad rain last night, hadn't there? If that was related to the mist's appearance, it wasn't unlikely that we'd get both the mist and this landslide at the same time. Despite that, this felt just a bit too convenient. I had to consider the possibility that the people in the settlement above blocked the road to keep the Yomibito from getting through. Hassan? There was something way more important. We found footprints in the still damp mud. It was proof that she'd passed through here. They disappeared into a small cliff that only reached up to my shoulders. She had to have climbed up and disappeared into the forest. Let's hurry. Yeah. Are we going to lose another character already? The term virgin forest was used to describe forests that were still untouched by mankind, letting nature have complete control over it. Many of the cedars here looked imported, so that term probably didn't apply to this one. However, it wasn't tended to whatsoever, so the words natural or undeveloped definitely worked. There were many fern saplings on the surface, a canopy of leaves above, and a thick mist all around. It certainly didn't feel like a place humans were welcome. For better or worse, the new ferns seemed slightly trampled, indicating someone had passed through recently. Over here. Be careful. She got lost in this road, after all. Haruchan! Should you really be shouting like that? It's one of the basics of living in the mountains. The beasts run away if you scream. Oh yeah, I'd almost forgotten about the very real threat of wild animals. I'd realized I'd lost myself in the mood and become kind of embarrassed. Haruchan! Say something! Shouting over and over, we kept moving forward. She tried to follow the path, but all the cliffs and boulders in the way made her stray from it. 10 minutes later, we'd lost all sense of direction. Yeah, this place really was dangerous. Could we really find her? And even if we did, wouldn't it be too late? I was reminded of Yoshitsugu Oribe and his cruel fate. Are we about to lose yet another life? As my thoughts turned to that very real possibility, I heard some weak weeping. Haruchan! Mochi! Stay away! Are you alright? Please, don't come after me. I had a bad feeling about this. Something really bad might have happened to her. Wait up! Hey. My guess is she's one of the people. Like one of the guardians, one of the special people. Her power probably, like, let her, I don't know, onto some insight that freaked her out. Chikamochi went after the voice with no hesitation. His body was quickly buried under all the plants and mist. Give me a hand, Hassan! His lack of hesitation felt dangerous in some way. Was I just imagining it? Anyway, I went after him and quickly caught up. It hurts. It hurts. Haru Makishima was buried under all the greenery. It's her leg! Stop! Ah! I walked up and... Oh man, this was pretty bad. Her leg was all covered in blood. Her shoe and foot were pierced by a sapling that was broken right at the bottom. She stepped on this? Can we break it off? Nope, we gotta pull it out. That'll open the wound. There's some lawn marsh, pennywort, and chameleon plants here. Let's close it with them. You can do that? Nosatsu is the family that made medicine. First I heard of that, but I'd have no choice to believe him, but to believe him. She resisted verbally, but she was too tired and weakened to do it physically. I picked her up, doing my best to ignore her wailing because of the pain, and pulled her away from the branch. Chikamochi quickly took care of her wound and used a handkerchief to stop the bleeding. Let's go back. Can you carry her? Of course. You sure you don't want to do it, though? Who knows? I just don't have the build for it. I thought of saying that Haru-chan would have preferred him, but she was barely conscious thanks to the pain. We didn't have time to waste on sentimentality. Lead the way. One less person is enough for one day. Going back is easy, but man, it really does look like getting out is impossible. Agreed. Haru-chan, I'm so glad you're all right. She isn't. Takamine, call Taiba. We've got a wound to patch. Got it. Our return caused quite a commotion. By the time things had begun to calm down, it was way past noon. Haru Makishimi's escape attempt, none of the problems were actually solved. Kanzo Makishimishi was killed by the wolves, while Yoshitsugu Oribe was taken by the corruption. Yoshitsugu-kun's death was especially problematic. Each meaningless death was yet another obstacle against resolving the feast. Even if they picked and hung someone during the day, it wouldn't guarantee that there'd be one less wolf. It was way more likely that they get rid of an innocent. Even worse, the wolves in the group would most likely try to leverage the hangings in their favor. They'd claim to be innocent while casting doubt and blame on the other survivors. To win, the humans needed to do their best to see through such trickery and identify the wolves, possibly even making them confess. That was how I saw it anyway, and I was the one with the least info here. With that in mind, all humans who died by breaking the rules were actually doing the wolves a favor. If she'd actually disappeared, I'd have said the same about Haru Makishima, assuming she was human anyway. Perhaps someone encouraged them to break the rules? If that was the case, the wolves were ruthless, knew the rules well, and were steadily advancing towards a complete victory while all humans lay dead. That'd be someone influential, or a player who's invaluable to the humans. That'd be Kanzo Ji-chan, or Yasukun. And just as we feared yesterday, the wolves had silenced one of the most important people in the feast. It was hard to believe they'd chosen him just because they were scum, or because they didn't like him. The situation was really bad. Another thing to note was that Yoshitsugu Oribe's death greatly affected Kaori-san, who was responsible for everyone's meals. That was a major problem. Good work, everyone. Here's some... When she tried to give us tea once we returned from the search, her face was pale, and she was shaking like she was having a seizure. Despite her attempt to carry on as normal, her composure was in pieces. It was so painful that I could barely watch. Takumi-san should have been supporting her, but he was just gloomily hanging his head. In the end, Chiemi had to lead Kaori-san back to her room and stay at her side. I could only hope that was enough to calm her down. However, it was nearly time to do the inevitable. I recall you saying that we should start today's feast. Now is as good a time as any, don't you think? Kyonosuke addressed the downhearted people gathered in the dining hall. Does it look to you like anyone's up for it? The day will end at this rate. The wolves are clearly intent on killing us all. Can we really waste time waiting in a situation like this? It'd work in their favor. We have to pick someone to hang, no matter what. Don't you agree, Moro? Alright. Yasunaga, try talking to everyone upstairs. That was where Taya-san looked after Haru-chan, and Shemi looked after Kaori-san. Oh, I'll go too. You don't have to, Mochi. Just let me tag along. Shikimochi winked at me, for some reason. It might take a while. Yeah, take your time. Everyone has to be there, after all. I will go prepare. Please do. Oh, wait! Now's my chance. Yasunaga-kun, can we talk? Huh? About what? I'm sorry about your brother. Thank you. That makes it a bit better. For him and I. That's a very mature way to talk about it. Maybe I should have sounded more my age then. This boy was already pretty mature. You didn't get along with him? That's not it. We didn't always see eye to eye, especially recently. But he was a really good guy. I think so too. It seemed like deep down the tough guy routine was really just an act. Did he get along with your mother? He did. Despite all he said, he really loved her, and she probably loved him more than me. Oh, that's not what I was asking, sorry. All human relations were complicated. Prying too deeply wasn't a good idea. I'm sorry, what did you want to know? A few things, mostly about the legend. Tai-san is the better person for that. I need the opinion of someone more rational. First question. Why do you think the wolves kill the humans? Because they're angry at humans for tricking and killing them. Let me rephrase that. Why do the people given the role of the wolf suddenly become able to kill their friends and family with no remorse? Huh? Are you suspicious of Haru-chan and I? No. Sorry, that's not it. I want you to look at this from a general perspective. Say you've been told that you're a wolf. Could you just accept it and start killing people? No way. Exactly. No way you could. Of course, there are those who could, but most couldn't, either out of fear or guilt. Mochi's a good example. The people here are afraid of certain things, but they do have lines drawn in the sand. If the lives of those they care about are on the line, they won't hesitate to face the corruption on the wolves. That's only because Mochi is special. He's a genius. Genius? Yes. He can easily make predictions and decisions normal people can't, and he'll readily throw away anyone or anything he doesn't care about. Everyone else thinks he's just weird, but I think he's a genius. I see. I think I agree with you there. But anyway, what I'm saying is that you people aren't the types to magically become murderers just because of some corruption. Of course, there'd be people who do it, because the corruption would come for them if they didn't, but even they wouldn't do it without hesitation. But the wolves we're dealing with aren't hesitating at all. I don't know where you're going with this, but I think it depends on the personality of whoever the wolf is. It'd be easy for people who never had any aversion to killing. But there are two wolves, right? Yeah, seems that way. I see. So let me ask you this then. Does Yasumizu have more than one person that capable of murder? One psycho in a group of people I could see, but two seems pretty unlikely. I think a better assumption is that there's some way to turn even an ordinary person into a ruthless killer. If that isn't true, the lack of infighting doesn't make sense under the current circumstances. When you put it like that, this is just something I heard from a teacher at school, but you could do it by giving them something to fight for, couldn't you? Basically, you need to make them think that they're doing the right thing. That the wolves are doing the right thing? I see. That's an interesting way to look at it. It's how countries convince their people to go to war. Yes, that's what the lesson was about. But I think that your perspective is a bit flawed. What do you mean? For example, most of the girls in the settlement are timid and prefer to leave the big decisions to the men. Even Haru-chan is like that. So if the wolves are a man and a woman, it's entirely possible that the man's taking the lead and doing the killing, while the woman is just following along. Also, for all we know, the wolves could be arguing all the time, and they just didn't happen to hesitate in killing this one time. Yeah, good point. But I do think there's some secret to why this feast lasted so long. Traditions like these usually die out. It makes me think there must be a way to ensure the killings continue. Now, your idea is certainly interesting. I don't think you should call it interesting, not in a situation like this. Oh, sorry about that. That was insincere of me. Let me ask you one more thing then. Go ahead. I was working under the assumption that nothing particularly strange is happening here. What about you? Do you think there's something mysterious going on? I don't want to believe it, but I think there is. Why is that? Did you see a god or monsters or something? No, it's hard to put into words, but the fact that the mist appeared when we had a whole 4 outsiders here made it feel like there was a higher power at work. No matter how I look at it, I don't think mist like this could have been produced by human hands. Not to mention that it's strange how the wolves can enter sheltered houses and kill the people there. There's also the fact that if one of us killed someone, you'd see a change in their behavior, or some evidence would be left behind. We can't explain those things. So yes, I do think there's something mysterious going on. Oh, I see. Alright, sorry for asking such a weird question. By the way, who do you think are the wolves? Haruaki Fusaishi-san. He cut me off with a stern voice. Sorry, but that is something we talk about in the feast. You don't have the right to ask that. Oh, my bad. Listen, we'll have to hold the feast to decide which one of us we should sacrifice today. It's important to propose who we think is suspicious, but it's also very dangerous. Something we said outside of the feast could be used against us and become a fatal mistake. The fact that you asked me that makes me feel like someone's maliciously using you against me. Please stop. Good point. I'm sorry, really. Oh, but now I won't blindly believe that you're an ill omen. But I won't stop suspecting that you're involved somehow. If I ever find out you had something to do with Yoshitsugu's death, You'll what? He glared at me. I'll have to avenge my little brother. I see. Of course you would. I'll just head to the cage and do my best to be as unsuspicious as possible. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Why? Today's feast might drag on until evening. It might be too late by then. You should go to your room in the dorm and ask someone outside to block the door handle with a stick. I see. Good idea. This boy was really smart. If Takumi Moroshi was a site foreman type, he was the manager type. I could see a talent for using people. Can I ask something too? Of course. Do you like GNA? Whoa! From a political standpoint, I should say no. But yeah, she's likable. I see. Well, she seems pretty available, so she'd probably date me if I, or anyone else, asked. Oh, are you being considerate of me? I had a feeling that Mochi told you something weird. It's not like that. What I felt for her is a thing of the past. She was the only older girl around these parts, so I was attracted to her, that's all. This place was gloomy and serious, and she was the only free-spirited person here. She's as amazing as Mochi. Okay, he's lying. There's no way that he doesn't still have feelings for her. And it's probably involved in the plot. I do suspect he's a wolf. He's one of my leading suspects. Just saying. You're saying she was a rascal? Yes. So much that she almost killed someone. Hold on. Well, it was an accident. Though it's strange you think she's available. Gina is actually pretty shy. Is she now? Or maybe she just changed a lot during her 3 years of college. So yeah, I've already gotten over her. Now I feel like you're the one being weirdly considerate. That's not healthy, you know. It's all good if you like her. This is hardly the time or place for that. Good point. That was it, huh? Eventually everyone gathered and went to the hall. Just as I was told, I asked for them to lock me in my room. After getting everyone, including Takumi-san and Tai-san, to understand, Yasunaga-kun, Chiemi, and I went to the dorm. It's kind of annoying that I'm not involved in this at all. Chiene, you think he can jump from the window to the branches? No way. Even if he made it down, he couldn't get back. The two verified how secure a place this was to lock me up in. If they were the wolves, it'd be impossible to outwit them. Humans stood no chance. Anyway, we're locking you in. We'll come open it up if we have the time, but you might end up staying like this until morning. Alright, fine by me. It's gonna be hard, but I hope you do well. Thanks. Sorry you're caught up in the problems of such a crappy village. I'm more worried about you. Wow, isn't that nice? I'll do my best. Well done? We're locking you in then. Yeah, be careful too, Yasunaga-kun. You're now your mother's only child. Yes, that's true. And so the door was closed. I could hear them set up the stick. So far, the only ones I'd talked to face-to-face were Chiemi, Takumi-san, Mochi, and Yasunaga-kun. Just 4. The ones I hadn't talked to were Tai Yamawaki, Rikaku Uematsu, Meiko, Kaori Oribe, Haru Makishima, Kiyonosuke no Sato, the old wolf guy. A whole 7. I had no idea if there was significance in that, but I wanted to know what kind of people they all were. 4 people had already died, and if you ignored me, there were 11 left. Once the snake revealed what Kiyonosuke was, he and the snake, Takumi-san, would be the only ones with confirmed roles. The other 9 would be suspects. When one was hanged, there'd be 8. And when one died in the night, there'd be 7. Which was still quite a lot. They had to hurry before it was too late. The humans had to act now. Hello? Whoa, what? The supposedly fixed door slightly opened. It was Chami. I forgot, but I might not get to give you your dinner, so have this at least. She threw me a yellow food box, the kind you could find in any convenience store. Thanks, seriously. Don't mind it. Oh, by the way. Oh, what? Tell the monkeys to reveal themselves. Huh. But why? Think about it. You'll understand. And you know you have to do something before it's too late. Chini, what are you doing? There's no time. Go. Yeah, okay. She closed the door and put the stick back. Alright, what next? I was thinking the same thing, though. The monkeys do need to reveal themselves. It greatly improves their odds. But then what happens if the werewolves start suspecting? Like, oh man. Haruchan, is your wound alright? It's fine. I know it's not a good time to ask, but what happened? It was pretty bad, I'll tell you that much. Whatever, let's just start. Everyone had a drink. Let's begin the feast of the Yomi Purge. Let's get to it. Takamine, did the snake's power work last night? Yeah, it did. Well, tell us. Kyo is a human. Of course, I'm no wolf. That means Muro and I are no longer suspects, right? It does. Let's look at what we have to decide today. If we continue based on the late Kanzo Makishimishi's decisions. Hold on, why are you taking the lead? I don't mind if the eldest Yamawaki-san wants to take over. I'm no good at that. In that case, it's only natural that myself and Muro, adults confirmed to be human, should be the ones to lead. Takamine, he's annoying, you lead. No, Kyo, keep going. He's still shocked from the elder's death. No need to force him. But I will do everything I can in his place. Muro, you console Madame Oribe. My boy, he... Kari-san, here's my proposal. Let's do whatever we can to choose and hang someone today. Hold on, that's too reckless. But it's necessary. If we don't, the wolves will eventually kill the last human. Exactly. We'll have to harden our hearts if we want to survive the feast. Am I wrong, Yamawaki-san? You're right. The Yomibito must be hung. 1 soul per day now to bind. What if we make a mistake? Even if we kept it secret, we'd have to live with the guilt of having killed someone. It's true that would be unpleasant, but such deaths wouldn't be in vain. What the hell? If we kill the wrong person, their death would be pointless. That's obvious. Watch your words when talking to your superiors. Listen, for now, we only have 2 surefire ways to get rid of suspects. Surely you understand, Yasunaga-kun. Yes. The snake's power. Or killing someone and lowering the total number, huh? I know that. But do you really think we can all agree on someone? We can't do that. Do you think the one who gets killed cares which side wins? That's why we need to reach a consensus here. We need to agree that, if the others survive, I don't mind dying. Huh? Yeah. Is that seriously all we have? Yes, that's all we have. The laws of the mountain remain merciless. What the hell? I'm not just getting hanged for someone else's sake. Oh, that would make you a wolf, wouldn't it? He's already playing these games. Why? You have no intention to put your life on the line for Yasumizu, and that makes you Yasumizu's enemy. Is that what you're saying? Am I wrong? People of Yasumizu, this is a test of your unity. You sure seem to be enjoying yourself. I'm only giving advice as someone from Kamufujiyoshi, and as one whose suspicions were lifted. Be silent. Kiyonosuke no Sato-san, you were quiet about this until the snake looked into you, right? What are you getting at? You already knew we had to be unified and accepted death if it was necessary, didn't you? But you also knew that saying that would have made the snake's power way more popular, so you stayed quiet. That's just an assumption. She's right, though. A Kamo Fujiyoshi guy who's no longer a suspect is telling us to die and be okay with it, as if we can just accept that. Takamine, you say something too. But he's right. Takamine? I agree with him as well. Suspect me, hang me, whatever your decision, I will accept it. No, Rikako-san. As I said before, in this situation, Kamo Fujiyoshi and Yasumizu are irrelevant. Not to mention, I know it might be impudent of me, but I believe myself to be part of Yasumizu. Oh, look at that, a respectable attitude. Something a certain someone here doesn't have. However, I do think that expecting that of this girl would be a bit much. You're all scary. But we have no choice. There can be no exceptions. And if you decide to hang her, I shall go with her. What? You mustn't. We only need the blood of one per day. I just have to die of my own volition. The corruption comes only for the sinner. If I'm already dead, then it no longer matters. But you're being a pain, Kyo. If you're gonna lead, do it right. And Uematsu. Yes? Think about what you're saying. Sorry, but you're ahead of Kamo Fujiyoshi, one of our oppressors. Takumi, don't be rude to Uematsu-sama. See? You people are the reason why Bachan gets so scared. Don't act like you're one of us. My sincerest apologies. And why are you in Yasumizu anyway? Honestly, I'm inclined to just start leveling accusations at this point. Takamine, are you saying all of this is Kamo Fujiyoshi's doing? Who knows? Maybe not all of it. But their efforts to keep us here show that they know something is up, don't they? At the very least, I really can't believe some guys who think the feast is an old wives' tale, and that the wolves are really on the human side. They knew that the people of Yasumizu would die if the mist came. They deprive us of not only our prosperity, but even our lives. Slander. I won't say that Kamo Fujiyoshi is a group of saints, but they're a resourceful and dignified people. Not to mention sensible. It's the age where science reigns supreme. Of course they don't believe in some old superstition. Isn't that the reason why? What do you mean? They didn't tell you all the secrets Fujiyoshi had to offer. That's because your only value to your family is your belief that the family heads are upstanding people and that you don't shut up about it. Huh? Isn't that why they forced you to stay in the Nosato mansion when you returned? Despite all of the dangers here in Yasumizu? Now you're crossing the line. Are you saying my family abandoned me? Hey, that seems pretty plausible. You're just like Yasu and I. The heads are cruel. Those who lose a struggle for power, those deemed incapable, or simply those who dislike the ones in charge can simply be sent here. Our situation is one thing, but Mom? She came all the way from Tohaku and married into the Higuchi family, but got thrown out the moment Dad died. I didn't care about that. Mom, sorry, I didn't mean to. I was fine as long as I had Yoshitsugu and you, Yasunaga. Anyway, there's no doubt that they twisted our fates. I agree with Takamine on that. Too bad you're stuck here too, huh? I'm not blaming Yasumizu's people. What's gotten into you? We're all gonna die anyway. Oji-chan was acting all tough, but even he died so easily. I can't take this. Why didn't you just leave me there? You weren't like this back then. What's wrong? I've just had enough. How sad. What's wrong? When wolves come, everyone becomes demons. That they do. That's why we need to hang the Yomibito. What a mess. Whatever, at least we know that Kamo Fujiyoshi's people won't come and save us. The road was blocked. That's one reason. Anyway, I do think we should trust Kyo now. My reason's the same as Chami's. Oh dear, how sad. Think what you want. Anyway, when we have to hang someone, Uematsu is the easiest target. Keep acting like that and you'll be dead in no time. Then what should I? Just be honest and tell us what you know. Keeping quiet is the worst. And letting others take care of it won't do either. Right, Kyo? Why not just take control of the feast, Moro? I just tried acting like the old man. That ain't me. I'll leave the rest up to you. I don't have much left to say. Let's just hold a vote and hang whoever ends up being picked. I'm telling you, that's too reckless. Of course, you are free to argue your case, especially if you can prove you're more valuable alive. However, I don't want to hear any "I'm human" or "I don't want to die" non-arguments. Everyone would say that. The Chosen One gives up and gives his life, leaving the fate of Yasumizu to the rest of us. We'll hang at the Hanging Pine. That should do the job. How do we vote? We'll start with the elders. You can have brief interviews too. When the voter decides, I'll record it in my notepad. Huh? It's not anonymous? No way, we're basically telling people to die straight to their faces. I've had enough of Serizawa's nitpicking. I'm starting. So, what's your name? That's the old guy. The old man who cried wolf. He's been old when I was still young. Do you understand what I'm saying, sir? Which one of us do you think is a wolf? Me? Why? Wolf! Scary, scary! One vote for Chiemi Serizawa. Hold on, are we seriously deciding who to kill like this? We have no choice. He's a participant too. We can't deny his right to vote, can we? Takamine-chan, say something. Yasunaga, what do you think? I'll wait and see. Same here. Wait, are you really? So now it's me. I think I should vote for Chi-chan too. Why? Taiba-chan, I'm sorry. I just don't know. But it's strange how you're so mad about everything here. If the others survive, I don't mind dying. Oh, I hear that, but I won't agree. Yasumizu's people are important to me, but so is my life. Not to mention I know I'm not a wolf, so I'm not just gonna roll over and die. Sure, I'll follow the rules. If I keep this up, I'll just get killed, not to mention we don't have any better options. Here, Taiba-chan, I've calmed down. Can you change your vote? Should I? You know what? Fine, it was my own fault for acting weird. Are you done? Moro, it's your turn. I'm voting for Meiko. Takamine-chan? You... Do I even need to give a reason? I know she's a kid, but we basically know nothing about her. It's just way too weird. I don't know how true the legends are, but if something fishy comes from Saranaga, it's only fair to think she's fishy too. Takamine, if that's how it worked, what would be the point of this bothersome feast? I don't think we should decide based on that either. Even if she didn't come from Saranaga, we still don't know who or what she is. Think about it this way. What if that girl really was a wolf? If we all just ignored her because she's just a kid, she'd kill us all. Do you get that? Looks like you're thinking too, Moro. Next, Madame Oribe. Makishima-san. Mom! Why me? Why not? Tell me then. Why did you try to run away today? You were feeling guilty over killing your grandfather in Yoshitsugu, weren't you? No, that's not it. Then why? Because I was scared. I didn't want to stay here. Lies! Kari-san, stop. His death hurt all of us, even me and Haru. All of us hurt. Oribe-san, what will you do with your vote? Haru Makishima it is. I'm next, and I'm voting for the nameless old man. Huh? Huh? But why? That last exchange made me realize that he's not rational. We don't need someone like that around. That's so unfair! He regularly said that the wolves were coming, even before all of this happened. That's more than enough to find him suspicious. Still unfair. I think he's either completely insane, or secretly knows something. Have you ever considered that there were feasts before this one? He should have been around for at least one. But I haven't, and I'm over 70! But he could have. No, he's older than you after all. He could know something, but might be unable to say it because of senility, or might be hiding it out of malice. With this vote, I might be able to get info out of him. And if not, he's worthless. Worthless? Is it right to truly hang people, based on whether they have a worth at this particular moment? You say that, but if we continue, we'll make more progress tomorrow. What do you mean? Today, Muro will use his power to investigate someone. We'll know the truth about another person. Spider will once again protect Muro. By repeating this, it'll only take 3 times to know who's a wolf and who's not, even if we guessed wrong. What if the spider's already dead? Really? In one day we'll hang someone. Someone will get killed by the wolves, and the snake will reveal another person. We'll find out about 3 people in one day, and since all 11 besides Takamine-chan and Osato are unknown, it'll take 3 or 4 times? Exactly. We'll only have to hang 3 people at most. With that in mind, if you don't want to hang those close to you, you should start with those who aren't. It's for the good of Yasumizu. Now listen here. I'm arguing to maximize the happiness of the majority, Muro. Osato-san, are you serious? What? Chiene's math only works out if the wolves only kill people the snake hasn't checked. What if they only went after those whose identities were already confirmed? For example, what if they went for you tonight? I don't think I can agree with voting based on such a flawed conclusion. Don't you think you're being too easy on the idea of killing your own? I haven't said anything about killing my own. I'd never say that. Oh man. Well, there were some mistakes there, but we're already voting. I'm leaving your decisions to you. Next up is Rikaku Uematsu-san, right? Going by seating order, I'm next. How troubling. I don't have enough info to go on. Why are you so calm? I'll make a mistake otherwise. That's why you and Mom should calm down, please. Hold on, Yasukun. Sorry to cut you off, but I just had an idea. What? Can the monkeys reveal themselves? Why would they? Yasunaka-kun and Sir Makishima said it'd be best if they didn't present themselves. Well, I was thinking the same thing at first, but what's the point of the monkeys then? They just know who the other monkey is, right? It's not like they get any new info later. That's true. The only use I can think of is for them to be catching fake snakes. But they can confirm who the other monkey is. So they can be confirmed as non-wolves just as easily as those investigated by the snake, right? What if they lie? Lying would be too risky. For example, I'm not a monkey. But if I went, hello, I'm a monkey, what would you do? I'd say, tell me who the other one is. Exactly. But I couldn't say it, because I'd be lying. Now, for example, if I said, alright, it's Mochi, then, how did you know? Don't joke around. Well, I can't prove it, can I? I see. What if he played along because he thought being a monkey would make him safe? The real monkeys would call him out, and then we'd hang all four one after another to be sure. That's... the rule of thumb is that only wolves would try to lie to survive. So that's the right thing to do, isn't it, Nosato-san? That's true. Once you clarify that's what would happen, you shouldn't get anyone pretending to be a monkey. I see. It's too dangerous for both humans and wolves. It's not worth it. Does everyone understand? Looks like it. Then please, name yourselves. We'll lose 2 suspects. Right here. What is it, Mochi? I'm saying I'm a monkey. You're not just dragging out the joke? Yep, I'm a monkey. So like we agreed, who's the other monkey? Meiko-chan! Huh? Meiko-chan, is that true? What? When you woke up, was there something on your stomach? There was, a monkey. She knows the symbols? Yes, I taught them to her, alongside prayer to Shinai. We have any other monkeys? Doesn't look like it. That confirms it. I see, so they really are monkeys. Crap, so I wasted my vote. I think it should be given a do-over. You want to bend the rules? It's best to make it impossible to retract votes. We'd have too many people trying to change their vote at the last minute. Good point. Fine. Sorry about interrupting. Back to Yasukun. I'll vote for the old wolf man. My reason is that I think staying silent and doing nothing indirectly helps the wolves. I'm next. 1,000,000 votes on Taiba. What? 1 vote each. Then 1 vote for Taiba. I found it weird how she just voted for Chie out of nowhere. What are you saying, boy? That's why you youngins are such good-for-nothings. I'm next. Alright. 1 vote for the old guy. So even you went for him. Shut up. My reason is that I don't have any better ideas right now. That's it, Haru-chan's turn. I'll vote for Uematsu-san. You had to have been the one who brought the corruption. No, I'm only here to fulfill my role. Then just do that and take in the corruption. You're not doing that because you're a wolf, aren't you? Watch your tongue. I cannot disagree. I'm powerless. You don't have to humble yourself before these people. It's your turn. The person who voted for you must be suspicious. Listen to this guy. I will vote for Yasunaga Oribe-san. You! I do not find him suspicious. But I just had a thought. There would be no worse possible occurrence than were he to be a wolf. I did say a lot. I can't blame you for thinking I'm just tricking people. But I don't think I said anything wrong. At least, I didn't intend to. I don't mind if you vote for me. I believe that votes to express your outlook are important as well. The old wolfman is at the top with 3 votes. You, their child, you're the last one. Meiko, do you understand? I need to choose the wolf. Yes. Her. Me? Wait, seriously? You're scary. I'm scared of you, too. We need a final vote. The 9 people besides Chami Serizawa and the old wolfman will vote for one of those 2. The wolf is coming. The results are in. Old wolfman, 7 votes. Chami Serizawa, 2 votes. Everyone besides Taiba and Meiko-chan voted for the wolf guy. Shut up. Are you ready, sir? We all decided this. Every one of us is equally guilty. Better get ready, old man. Do you understand? I need time. Huh? Need to clean up. You want to take care of your belongings? I believe we can allow that much. What if he's planning to escape? Haru-chan. Then I'll keep an eye on him. You do that. As soon as he returns, we will take him to Saranaga. Rikako-san, where's the rope? Right here. It was already evening. As I whiled away the time with some fruitless contemplation, I heard noises outside that brought me back to reality. People were shouting loudly. What's wrong? I opened the window and shouted. It was facing the cliff, so I couldn't shout to the settlement directly. They probably didn't hear me since I didn't get a response. What happened? So I shouted even louder. Fusaishi, stay right where the fuck you are! Huh? Was I about to get punched? What happened? I can only repeat myself. It's dangerous right now. I don't know who's talking. It was? What do you mean? I didn't get a reply this time. I only heard several voices clamoring. Then I heard someone hurry up the dorm stairs. Who's there? I get no response again. What was happening here? Someone was definitely close. It just made me more tense. Oh, Haruaki-san. Wow, Chami yet again? What a twist. What's that supposed to mean? Sorry, but you should stay right there now. This might be really bad. Her voice was cut off by a scream, though it was more like intense cursing. It was Takumi-san's voice, no doubt about it. Chami left without saying another word. Huh? Hold on, open up! I fought the door, but it showed no signs of opening. I can help, damn it! Shit. Like hell I was going to stay out of the loop any longer. Turning around, I went to the open window and decided to try jumping out. Though I was on the 2nd floor, it wasn't too high of a drop. It'd make my legs a little numb, but so what? I jumped out without any hesitation. Ugh, and properly bent my knees so I didn't hurt myself at all. Then I ran to the settlement where I'd heard the voices from. I quickly understood the cause of Takumi-san's shouting. They were cries of despair. The reason was somewhere downhill along the way to the graveyard. It was a small grove of low trees with a carpet of leaf mold below. It would have been hard to see even if there was no mist. You could hear running water nearby. I couldn't see where it came from, but it was probably an irrigation channel for the paddy fields. There was a small crowd gathered. I peeked through a space between them. There were bodies. 2 of them. One was of an old man and the other that of a child. Though their appearances were vastly different, each was in a similar state. They lay on the ground with their hands over their stomachs, utterly still, and covered in blood. These are the corpses of the old man who cried wolf in Chikamochi Kamoshida. Why? What happened? Fusaishi, weren't you in the dorm? I was until now. Bullshit, you're the one who did this, aren't you? Huh? No, I'm not. I just came out of the dorm. I even talked to Chami-chan. Yeah, it's not Haruaki-san, Takamine-chan. Then who did this? Forget that. We need to treat... There's no point. Don't touch them. We might still make it. They've lost all their blood. Their stomachs are open and their guts are all over. What kind of treatment can bring them back, huh? You know one? Go on then, say it. There was nothing I could say in response. There were 5 of us on the scene. Chami Serizawa, Takumi Muro, me, as well as Yakushiniga Oribe, who was vomiting on a nearby bush, and Rikaku Uematsu, who was watching the remains from a distance. Most were proactive, and I could see why they were there, but Rikaku Uematsu felt a bit out of place. But then I remembered we were already pretty short-handed. What happened? Who did this, damn it? Look here. She pointed to the old guy's clothes. There were gatherings of fur all over his garment. A werewolf. If that was the culprit, then this was the work of the corruption. Was that what she was saying? No. This was completely different from how the others had died. The fur proved little. Let me see the wound. I told you not to touch it, but this is completely different. Quit acting like you know shit. You never found out anything. But if we stop trying to look, we won't understand anything at all. Quit the act, outsider. Takamine-chan, calm down. Shut up. Everyone went to hell when he got here. If he didn't come, none of this... It felt like he was about to grab me. I could clearly see the intense emotion whirling in his eyes. I thought I could get him to trust me, but now it was back to square one. Mochi, why? Why? Yasunaga Oribe calmed down a bit and faced the remains of his dear friend. His voice was shaking. The expression of the corpse was eerily pale and emotionless. Even a look of agony was absent. It almost looked like he was smiling. Did his face muscles simply go limp? This isn't the corruption. How do you know? I'll prove it if you let me pass. He glared at me with immense hatred before letting me through. Look away if you can't stomach this kind of thing. I walked up to the old guy's corpse. He looked as distant as always, but the lack of blood flowing in his face simply made his appearance even more creepy. I avoided looking at it while I grabbed his back and rolled him onto it. With a wet sound, entrails spilled from the wound in his stomach. How horrid. Don't force yourselves, people. Except you, Takumi-san. Look. The stomach was clearly torn open by a blade. This isn't some supernatural punishment. It was caused by a person wielding a weapon. And since there's no weapon nearby, it means that someone intentionally removed it from the scene. So Yasumizu is someone who's both armed and capable of an act like this. Please give me the details of what happened during the feast. What led to this? With several people here to tell me, I ended up with a decent grasp of how today's feast went. Kiyonosuke Shie had suggested they choose who to kill by vote. The wolf guy and Shiemi ended up with the same amount of votes, resulting in a tiebreaker vote. Most ended up voting for the wolf guy, sentencing him to death. He said he'd wanted to take care of some things, so he and Chikamochi Kamoshida went out, while the rest stayed where they were. Were they really the only ones who left? Yeah, the feast was still going on at that point. Them leaving was an exception. You expected them to come back and resume the feast. What would you have done then? That isn't something we can tell an outsider. Alright, but anyway, they didn't come back. How long did you wait for them? No more than an hour. We started to worry and went out to search. Found them in less than 10 minutes. So the culprit was one of those not present. Chiemi, Takumi-san, Yasunaga-san, and Rikaku Uematsu. The 5 in the hall, Nosatoshi, Kaori-san, Meiko, Haru-chan, and Tai-san, simply couldn't be responsible. So someone killed the 2, changed in some clean clothing, and came back to pretend to keep searching. That's impossible. Did you see each other while searching? No, we split up to cover more ground. Let's return to the hall. We then went to the hall. Kiyonosuke Shie kept watch and confirmed that no one besides the victims and the search party had left the building. That limited the potential murderers to the search party and I. I asserted that I was still in the room when it all happened, and they believed me for now. Though Takumi-san continued to suspect that I used some sort of trick to escape and commit the murders. Well, that was fair, considering everyone else was with them, but I knew I wasn't the culprit. That left only one possibility. They died right after they left the hall. Then someone removed the weapon. And you're still the only one who could have done it. I'm telling you, I heard him in his room. I'll say it as much as I have to. I'm innocent. And since I am, something else had to be responsible for their deaths. I see you're avoiding using the word murder. You noticed. I am. As it stands, this could be suicide, death by illness, or poison, followed by desecration of the corpses and removal of the weapon. How would doing something like that benefit us? If you ask me, things become much simpler if we assume you and Serizawa are partners in crime, don't you think? I don't know, but doing that wouldn't benefit me either. Really? Tell me, is there any proof you don't know each other before this? We didn't, obviously, but what does that have to do with anything? The people here believed an eerie legend. You could have come here to take advantage of that and pretend to be monsters to murder them for your enjoyment. Please stop. There are some lines you shouldn't cross. Stop this, all of you. Tai Yamawaki-san walked out of the hall. I could see Haru Makishima, Meiko, and Kaori Oribe behind her. That made a total of 10 survivors. 9, if you excluded me, who hadn't participated in the feast. Whoever killed Chikamochi and the Elder, they went against the laws. Shinai-sama will subject them to the corruption. She put her hands together in prayer and faced the peak of Mount Shinai at the opposite side of Saranaga. Strangely enough, that was enough for everyone to fall silent. Rikaku Uematsu joined in, and Meiko copied her. This was the settlement's way of solving things. They gave up on discourse and just left it all in the hands of a higher power. Bachan, what do we do now? One has already spilled blood for the day. The Elder has died. Let's end the feast for the day and clean up. Alright. Yasunaga, help out. You just sit still. The situation was only getting worse. Soon after that, it was time to shelter, so everyone retreated to their houses. Takumi-san had entered my room and boarded my window completely shut. If you're not the culprit, something's going to happen even if you're locked in. His words were harsh, but there was a hint of composure. He might have actually believed that I wasn't the one who did it, or maybe he found peace in the idea that the mountain would punish the culprit. Or perhaps he just believed it was the work of something supernatural. Whatever the case, he was dwelling less and less on the matter. Yeah. Was the wolf guy a wolf? I had no idea whether that was plausible. Assuming he wasn't, 2 of the remaining 9 were wolves. With Kyonosuke being a confirmed human, Takumi-san being the snake, and Meiko being a monkey, there were a whole 6 suspects. Thanks to my advice, Chiemi suggested the monkeys reveal themselves, and they turned out to be Chikamochi Kamoshida and Meiko. Though Mochi had just died. That was a heavy blow. Him being a confirmed non-wolf was one reason, but more than that, he was one of the few people here who actually talked to me without restraint. He was somewhat of an oddity compared to the rest of the people here, but I did find him to be a fun guy. I'd like to get back at whatever injustice had stolen his life. Clearing my head, I resumed thinking. Since she was acting suspicious today, Takumi-san would investigate Haru-chan. Tomorrow, we'd have only 5 suspects. That'd give them decent chances of picking out the 2 wolves. It seemed to me like it wouldn't be that hard to find the murderers, who would surely be shaken by what they had done. And then the outed wolf, not wanting to die alone, would reveal their partner. That was the most optimistic way to look at it. From a pessimistic standpoint, though, the situation was obviously absolutely terrible. 4 people had died today. In a normal Feast of the Yomi Purge, it had to be 1 per day, 1 per night. This was double that. If things hadn't gone so well in the forest, even Harumaki Shimi might have died, not to mention the dreadful state Kaori Oribe was in. I was told their relationship had gotten worse. Kaori-san was in no state to prepare food, so it was likely that no one had eaten anything today. The hunger would only worsen everyone's morale. It was best for them to prioritize getting a proper meal tomorrow. Even so, there was no guarantee we wouldn't get any more irregular deaths. For example, someone at their wit's end could attack a wolf suspect despite the threat of the corruption. If they ended up losing more humans while the number of wolves stayed the same, the humans would be done for either tomorrow or the day after. Escape? I'd been entertaining the idea ever since lunch. The path was ruined, and I had to travel through an undeveloped grove, but I hadn't run into anything supernatural there when searching for Haru-chan. Maybe I could get out as long as I watched where I was going? I also had Saranaga as another option. Everyone here hated it, but that just made it less likely for me to be caught. Going down a misty rocky cliff was dangerous, but at least it was a one-way road. I just had to be careful I didn't get taken by the currents, and it was definitely better than staying here and dying. However, perhaps even suggesting that was dangerous. According to Rikaku Uematsu, the effects of the corruption were limited to the one who broke the laws, so you could escape them by killing yourself. However, if someone said they wanted to escape the village, the punishment would likely go to both the one attempting it as well as the ones who allowed it. The escape would surely become a hell of an experience then. However, there was an optimistic view of the situation. Something was actually here. Something abnormal was here in Yasumizu, killing and menacing its people using abnormal methods. At the very least, Yoshitsugu Oribe, who went to face it, suffered a horrible death. The superstitions weren't baseless, and it was best to look at the situation from that angle. My plan of escape contradicted that. But then how could I prepare for what was to come? The best I could think of was trying to familiarize myself with Fujiyoshi's superstitions. Perhaps I could find some sort of weak point or hint that could lead me to their identity. 5 prepare for the feast when the evening mists arrive. The action rhyme they did was obviously referring to the Feast of the Yomi Purge. I couldn't remember all the lyrics, but I felt like there was quite a lot of info there. Perhaps there were more hints for the feast in Yasumizu's culture and general area. I felt I had to talk to Rikaku Uematsu. She was an adult who seemed more involved in Fujiyoshi's prayers and stuff than most. I needed to arm myself with more info by tomorrow morning. That, along with the proper progression of the feast, were my only ways to survive. About today's feast. They must have decided to hang the wolf guy because they didn't care about him all that much. Simple as that. Sure, it was important to get rid of the participants who weren't cooperative. However, the fact that we'd lost 6 people, but they still hadn't gone beyond he or she is kind of shady was pretty bad. Yesterday, they wouldn't have hung anyone for such a petty reason. Well, the problem was they hadn't hung anyone at all so far. But then again, it wouldn't be a good thing to give the impression it was okay to kill people just for seeming shady. This place was regressing back to a feudal, superstitious mental state. If there was something that could stop them from sinking there, it would be an outsider like me. I steeled my resolve and waited for the night to pass. Good evening. Ah! I was so startled by the voice on the other side of the door that I momentarily screamed. What time was it? 7? It was too early for an attack and too late to walk around. What's wrong with you? Aren't you going to get punished for if you don't sleep? I think another hour is fine. I was awake until 8 yesterday and nothing happened. I've been sleeping too much, honestly. I'm not tired, but I'm really, really hungry. Don't you have your food stocks? With Kaori-san being, well, you know, I decided not to touch it. Might share it with the others. We're all hungry today, so I'll just tough it out. How upstanding. You should eat, though. What, the stuff from before? No, I'll pass. Why are you here anyway? Can't sleep. Is that really it? Haruaki-san, do you suspect me? No. Why? Because you told them about the monkeys, knowing full well what it meant. The Feast of the Yomi Purge is a well-constructed communication game. Well-constructed? I mean that there's no way to win this game beyond communication. Chikamochi-kun thought the same thing. To win, both the humans and wolves need to have some tricks and individual strategies. Consider the monkeys. They seem useless at first, but you can use them to easily eliminate 2 suspects. And this is possible from day 1, so they can become reliable leaders. Though that'd be hard for Mochi and Mako. Yeah, he was a free spirit, and she's a child. The wolves, on the other hand, have to go on the defensive. In a situation where being suspicious is enough to get yourself hanged, it's important not to draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done, though. Yeah, keeping your silence can be just as suspicious as being a blabbermouth. Exactly. But there are 2 factors that make it easy to gauge trustworthiness right from the very start. Do they have something to do with the monkeys? Yeah. You have to watch out for those who give bad advice or don't provide useful suggestions. A good example of the former is Kiyonosuke-san. His poor planning threw everything into disarray, and that really makes him suspicious. But he's confirmed to be human. Right. Well, that's assuming Takumi-san wasn't lying about being the snake. Huh? You're saying you could be lying? It's not impossible. After all, anyone could say they have a guardian. Honestly, if I were a wolf, I'd lay low until I killed a few, and then claim to have a guardian to ensure my safety. I see, but Takumi Nichan came out on the first day. Yeah, that was basically suicidal. But since that allows the spider to protect him, it's like a telling blow that hurt the attacker. I think. Anyway, all things considered, I'd say it's safe to trust Takumi-san and Kiyonosuke-shi. Personally, I think you're trustworthy too, since you spoke up about the monkeys. What if I only did it because I saw your game? Oh, that'd be bad. Wait, hold on. Aren't you basically saying you suspected me until I spoke up about the monkeys? Oh, you noticed. This goddamn guy, what the hell, man? I did it because I wanted to believe you. Alright, I forgive you then. Woohoo. So who's the most suspicious one? Haru-chan. Thought so. She's not making much sense lately, and you can explain her shift in personality by assuming it's because she killed her granddad. Or maybe she couldn't agree with the other wolf on their decision to kill Kanzushi and stop trusting anyone. Oh, that makes sense. You can make up 1,000 reasons like this, though. We couldn't go by just that. They said Haru hadn't gathered many votes, but they treated her like some kind of pariah, making it clear that everyone suspected her. It was only natural to use the snake to check on her. Oh, she doesn't seem all that good at games and stuff. Probably wasn't fair to judge her purely on not making any useful contributions. In that regard, Yasukun is way more suspicious. Huh? But he said a lot, like pointing out my math was incorrect. And he did say something like what you said, not doing anything indirectly helps the wolves or something like that. Not to mention, on the first day, he suggested that the spider should hide. That's true. Though most of those things were minor, he was definitely contributing to the game. The first day was especially important. For the wolves, it was best to create a flow where they could just stay quiet and wait for those with guardians to out themselves. What bothered me was the fact that he wasn't the one who brought up the leader selection and the monkey thing. He was shady because he hadn't made those useful propositions. I thought he'd figured those things out a while ago. Or maybe I, as an outsider, just had a better grasp of the situation? I guess he's innocent then. I don't know about the rest, though. I can't even imagine what Rikaku Uematsu-san and Taya-san are thinking. Oh, you mean... But if you looked at the circumstances outside the feast, Rikaku Uematsu was pretty shady. It always felt like she was hinting at something. It wouldn't have surprised me if she knew more than she let on. If she was a village head, she could know things only those from Kamufujiyoshi knew. There was more than enough reason to suspect her. If only we could follow that lead and solve this whole thing. It'd make things way easier. Haruaki-san, are you enjoying this? No. But you look like the type who likes mystery stories. I won't deny that, but I can't really enjoy myself when people I care about and I are in danger. If I did act like some master detective, I'd really just be some useless amateur. It wouldn't accomplish anything. I'm not sure I buy that. What do you mean? Everyone else is a mess. I think most normal people would lose it in this kind of situation. I could say the same about you. I'm not exactly normal either. Oh yeah? I heard you almost killed someone. Who told you that? That's a secret. Oh, it didn't sound intentional. Well, how do I say it? I think it happened in middle school. I grabbed a bat and beat up some students who were bullying the Yasumizu kids. Whoa. Some of them were connected to the head family, so it became a big deal. That's basically why the adults here are so harsh on me. I see. So you fight out of a sense of justice. So she was sent to Yasumizu for making enemies out of the village heads. I wouldn't say that. It's more like I just have a short temper and wanted to make a scene. Rebellious phase? More or less. Same as Haru-chan and Yoshi-kun. In a place as rural as this, it's rare for children to grow up as level-headed as Yasu-kun, don't you think? Really? I think they'd be healthier and nicer than the edgy brats from the city. Let me rephrase that. In a place as poor as this. Well, there was no doubt that Yasumizu was destitute. There were no cars, cell phones, and it didn't even feel like it had an economy. They probably lived mostly off the land, making money from whatever they could spare from their farms and hunts. Since they had no decent way to sell stuff to anyone outside, most of their business had to be done through Kamufujiyoshi. I can't talk. It was entirely likely they were ripping them off. No way this place could be wealthy in those circumstances. I didn't believe that money could buy everything. But poverty took its toll on the people suffering it. Some could live in poverty while retaining their purity, but that was borderline saintly. It was a lifestyle too difficult for the common masses. And since the people of Yasumizu were ostracized from Kamufujiyoshi, they were targets of unjust pressure from day one. I can understand why the children here strayed from the path. Though when you looked at it like that, the way they strayed was so mild it was almost cute. Are you disturbed now? Not really. You're lying. You think I'm so blunt I'd whip out a blunt object to beat you up. I'm just gonna ignore that poor attempt at a pun. Sorry. My ex wasn't any different. Oh? Oh, I see. You seem confused, and I have no idea why. You weren't lying when you said you broke up with your girlfriend? You thought I was? I thought it was just some kind of pickup line. That's just mean. Our breakup was insane. I actually felt like my life was in danger. Whoa, sorry to hear that. What about you? Huh? Your history with guys. I shared mine, so hearing yours is only fair, right? Yeah, well... How many did you go out with? 2? I guess? What happened to you being a hyper slut who's done it with 53 guys? I never said that. I did exaggerate a bit, but I did get tons of invitations. And yet you only went out with 2. Well, I didn't find many guys I got along with. What about me? Let's not go any further. If I let myself get too attached, I'd be too scared of dying. Being afraid of death is normal, though, isn't it? Not really. Why? God is way scarier than death. I feel like you have a very unusual image of God. Really? You think of it as something frightening that you might actually meet, right? Everyone has met God. Maybe they just can't see it. And God really is scary. It's just that no one knows how. Myself included? You're the only one I don't understand. That's probably why. I'm afraid of losing you. That's something you say to those you promise your eternal love to. Are you mad? A bit. I see. We've gotten this far, and you're still being cagey regarding your own background. You can only take playing hard to get so far until it gets annoying. I'm just not sure what to do. This isn't easy for me either. Just tell me everything. I'm going back. Champy. Good night. What the hell? Why didn't she talk? Did she still not trust me? Was she messing with me? Was she some kind of crazy? Or was it something else? Crap. I wanted to chase her down and get a real answer out of her, but I was locked in. This was so frustrating. Though, this wasn't the time to worry about that. Who would the wolves go for tonight? The wolf guy was dead. I mean, there was one less person who'd vote Chiemi out tomorrow. It wasn't likely she'd get top vote. It was best to think that the wolves would go for someone who was useful to the humans and couldn't be killed with the votes. That meant that she and Yasunaga-san were the ones at highest risk. On the other hand, their survival would make things difficult in other ways. I'd probably be forced to consider the possibility that they themselves were wolves. Could I really trust Chiemi? I felt I could, but not completely. Whatever the case, a situation where the more talkative ones were seen as suspicious would make it harder for her to survive. Should I have talked to her about running away? No, that was probably pointless. I didn't know much about her whole god thing, but it was clear that escape wasn't even an option for her. Something scary that everyone had met, yet not fully perceivable? Was she speaking figuratively? Or could she literally see something? Shit, I don't care. I became irritated. My hunger was starting to get to me. Figuring it was best than just wasting my mental energy, I focused on taking a bath and going to bed. I had no idea just how naive my predictions would prove to be. Well, again, there's no better place within an ominous message like that to call an end to this episode, because I need to get to work anyway. So, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this game as much as I am, because this is pretty nuts. I know I don't feel like I'm commenting on the game enough. I think I'm just too wrapped up in the story. I'll try and comment on it more. Like, as of right now, basically, you're just watching me read the game. Yeah. Seriously, though, I'm certain Chiemi's about to die. That feels like the most logical next step here. But regardless, we'll find out next time. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, I don't know. I can't come up with anything weird. So I'm just going to see you guys later. Sponsored by Cocoa Puffs. I forgot that was up there. Whatever. Okay. You guys will see me later. Have a good one.